How you gonna walk through this world? It's so easy to misstep. How are you gonna walk through the world? So easy to screw it up. You gotta rise like the sun does every day. Rise up, look above. The light feels something like love. Hello, friends. I'm Shelley Leedahl, a writer in lovely Ladysmith on Vancouver Island, and this is my literary podcast, Something Like Love. The 10 shows in Season 2 will center around random weekly themes, and I'll release a new episode each Wednesday. You're going to hear a Shellified cover song, a selection of prose or poetry, either from my already published books or new work, and a meditation to soothe and inspire as we stumble together through these unprecedented times. Hang in there, folks. We've got this. Hey folks, here we are almost at the end of this pandemic year, 2020, and I want to wish you all the best in the year ahead. Your love is better than ice cream, better than anything else that I've tried. Your love is better than ice cream. Everyone here knows how to cry, and it's a long way down. It's a long way down. It's a long way down to the place where we started from. Do 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 do. Your love is better than chocolate, better than anything else that I've tried. Oh, love is better than chocolate. Everyone here knows how to fight. It's a long way down. It's a long way down. It's a long way down to the place where we started from. Yeah, where we started from. Where we all started from. Maybe there was Saskatoon. Maybe there was Whitehorse. Are you from Egypt, Paris, London? Are you from Turkey, China, Amsterdam? Wherever you started from. Cold Lake, Alberta. Maybe you're in Victoria, Canada or Australia. Celebrate you wherever you started from, wherever you're going. Happy 2021. And this week's episode is about love. So love, there's a huge category, and I have a lot of experience in it. Unfortunately, I have loads of experience with heartbreak too. This week I've decided to read poems from my 4 books of poetry and 1 new one, so a total of 5 poems that all feature love. The first poem is from my 1990 collection called A Few Words for January. The poem itself is very short, and I'm choosing to read it because it sort of captures the sheer joy and innocence of being a young mom. I had 2 kids by the time I was 23. My daughter's now 34, my son is 36, and there's been a lot of water under the bridge since this poem was written. Voyeur. I love to watch your large workman's hands fumble with the tiny buckles on our daughter's best white shoes. Her thin ankle, so safe and lovely in your gentle, calloused grip. I grew up predominantly in the town of Meadow Lake, Saskatchewan, where you could see the northern lights, and where from the age of 14 I was in love with one lad. This is called Talking Down the Northern Lights. He told me he could talk down the northern lights. We were 16, in a field, and it worked. Love. That's how I remember it. Now I confess it probably wasn't a field. A back seat, maybe. Some Hollywood nightmare on the big screen. A cigarette burning and beer spilled between us. And what of the lights? Did he seduce them as he did me, or was I tricked by the smoke clouding up the car? It doesn't matter. A dozen years later, without benefit of beer, cigarettes, or a back seat, 1 marriage and several horrors behind me, it's enough to believe. One summer, ghosts across the sky, some boy wanted me enough to talk them down. That is the title poem from my 2001 collection, Talking Down the Northern Lights, with Heesoon Press. Sometimes love concerns place. I was on a month-long retreat in a castle in a village south of Edinburgh, Scotland, and I wrote this poem called Lady Walk. I may never again feel this loved by trees. No margin for mistakes on this labyrinthine path, narrow as victories sometimes are, and atmospheres above the lisping stream. Stone-slippered, grass-thrashed, leech-slick. Lady Walk, you're ironically named. And I am so dizzy today, my blood determined to run thin as skim milk. I'm feeling all treetops, little bird, green. I've found Wallace's cave and planted words like seeds inside it. Pinus sylvestris, Sambucus nigra, Taxus baccata. Each day I do something that makes me wonder why I don't do it every day. Here I am, my life half lived, and still this need to climb trees. Betula pendula, Quercus robur. To lean over the gorge is to eavesdrop on a world upside down. The way as children we'd tramp through our rooms with mirrors at our waists, so it appeared we were walking on ceilings. And maybe we were. Maybe all I require is a thicket of amber light deep inside forest, so I can pull off a fairy tale century of sleep. What greed, and guilt too, because hard is the adjective I too often pin to the brown solid nut that's my life. Even now I veer off what there is of a path, grasp the extended hands of ferns to follow the faint hope of deer trails. Perhaps I've scrambled my fundamentals, not stopped enough, not stared at filaments and white flies floating, or recognized oak leaves for the pause they certainly are. O moss, forgive me. Sycamore, reduce me. Giant fir, be my reticent friend. That was a poem from The House of the Easily Amused, my 2008 poetry collection with Ulakan Books. 2011 saw the release of my poetry collection Wretched Beast with Bushek Books in Ottawa. Several of the poems in this collection were written when I lived in Saskatchewan, in the village of Middle Lake. There are also a number of poems penned at various retreats I participated in or created for myself, from places as far and wide as Souk to Dublin, Malta to East End, Saskatchewan. This poem, called The Answer, was written while I was on retreat in a Mediterranean village in southern Spain. The Answer. Because I am falling in love again, I've a fresh interest in roses. Just now, hiking back from the sea's susurration, a confetti of rose petals in a dozen hues, a petty point embellishing the sidewalk as if expecting lovers to pass. My face is close to the sun. Eucalyptus mints my palms. Is this my real life? Mediterranean, a word one can't pronounce often enough, and now there will ever be breezes, a fleeting habit of cervezas, and a trace of sand in this envelope of ours. Call it hunger, or flying, like the windsurfers arcing meters off the water and pinned momentarily against a skydrop. Love, I say, as if it's easy, as if it's not. Yesterday, after buying matching caps in a shop garish with souvenirs, we spoke Spanish like actors in a telenovela. We are all exclamations. Are we acting? You kissed so politely. I was quick to your bed and opened like a tulip in a long black dress. Now let's sing the old songs and fracture the same verses. We'll take turns on the guitar, which keeps losing its tune. Yes, this is real, but we know how these stories conclude. The immaculate ocean and your wife between us. The answer is a splayed white rose. My mother, before she became a sculptor, painter, and writer, before she became a United Church minister, she was a piano teacher, and if I have any talent musically at all, it is definitely from her. My dad never could play an instrument formally, but he loves to entertain by telling jokes and singing and even doing a little soft shoe in seniors' homes or any place. When we got together as a family, it didn't matter that some of us could actually play instruments and some couldn't. We liked to make noise together. We had fun. This is a poem called My Father Collects Broken Instruments. My father collects broken instruments, the way other men pocket pens or tack baseball caps above tools in a garage. 2 guitars with strings whiplashed or missing, a trombone lacking the decency of its mouth. My father plays nothing but his own whistled breath, and he can no longer stand for more than a few minutes. Still, he haunts yard sales and flea markets, returns with a silent mandolin, a clarinet soon forgotten and dismembered behind a granddaughter's bedroom door. Photos immortalize my brother, faking gospel with a dented trumpet, reflect toddlers mad dancing with decrepit tambourines. Oh baby, we shook some joists. The sum of a lifetime scored with non-banjos and unharmonicas, my merry kith and kin, fantastic disasters in unfeasible keys, and almost nothing resembling music. All I want is to love them, whomever they pretend to be. All right, it's time for the meditation portion, and I'm going to cheat a little bit this time. One of the things I've been doing for decades is writing book reviews. I write several a year for an organization called Sask Books. There's a good chance that if a book is published by a Saskatchewan publisher, I may review it. Doesn't matter where the author lives, as long as the publisher is in Saskatchewan and a member of Sask Books. One of the books I reviewed this week is a University of Regina Press title called A Book of Ecological Virtues, Living Well in the Anthropocene. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing Anthropocene correctly. The book's edited by Heesoon Bai, David Chang, and Charles Scott. And I really enjoyed this diverse collection of essays about how we can be more responsible environmentally and also live well. So what I'm going to do for this week's meditation is just share with you an excerpt from the editor David Chang's essay called Worthy of This Mountain. When I catch myself ensnared by anxiety over the state of the world, or feel myself tighten up in the effort of doing something ethical, I practice a body scan. I take deep breaths to collect my awareness and return my attention to the sensations of my body. I start from the top of my head and scan slowly, noticing bits of tension that I hold in my muscles. Usually, I observe tension around my neck and shoulders. With the fine comb of awareness, I sense that even the muscles around the face are often taut. As I detect tension, I relax each muscle, moving my attention to my chest, arms, abdomen, legs, and feet. By practicing this combination of attention and relaxation, I sense how mental stress is held in the body. As I soften my muscles, the mental struggles dissipate. In this way, I can apply myself to my work without vexation. The other practice is to seek guidance from the earth itself. When I am assailed by tension, I turn towards some element of the natural world, the sky, the trees, and ask, what should I do with this angst? The question is not usually an explicit one. It can come in the form of an unarticulated intention. In essence, I lay my troubles under the sky and take cues from the earth's inherent wisdom. So, what do the sky and the trees say? Nothing. They always respond to my plea with exactly what they already are. The trees keep swaying in the breeze. The sky remains silent in its spaciousness. Yet this is a sublime answer to my trouble. I can sense that by the sky remaining the sky, the trees, they tell me to stop pursuing solutions and resolutions. I see my struggle as an artifice that obscures a fundamental, inviolable perfection that pervades the universe. Everything is sufficient. Everything is complete. Everything is workable. So in listening to the earth itself, I can drop my struggles and feel supported by the world. The knots disappear. Once I tap into this boundless energy, fatigue fades. The work carries on. How are you going to walk through this world? It's so easy to misstep.